want to try to do better than that?
I was gonna interrogate him.
Oh, you can interrogate this guy though. Where you go?
Oh, okay.
Last stop standing.
So there's a line that people want me to yell, but I can't usually do it because I'll freak out my neighbours. But as you can see, I'm at the Crashing Ocean Beach and there's no one too close, so... Reloading! Fuck, someone saw me, I gotta go.
No i dzień dobry, witam wszystkich. To, że przez chwilę nie było obrazu, to było celowe, wszystko pod kontrolą. Już jest wszystko. Bo jeszcze mamy minutę, więc spokojnie.
If you also have amazing gameplay segments you captured from our games, spread the joy and submit them on the link displayed on your screen right now. All right, guys, it is time for us to wrap up this pre-show.
Don't forget to
No
stay
dobra.
tuned for our post-show featuring a deep dive into the world of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Thanks a lot for watching this pre-show and enjoy Ubisoft Forward.
Prawda, od czego zacznę?
This is Ubisoft.
This is Ubisoft Forward.
Explore our world.
Meet the devs. See the games.
Jestem ciekaw, czy będą w ogóle jakieś niespodzianki, po prostu jakieś zapowiedzi gier, o których jeszcze nic nie wiemy. Zazwyczaj na koniec coś takiego wrzucają.
Hi everyone, I'm Neil
Swoich
Kumar
show
and I'm
przynajmniej
very
nawet trzy.
excited to be co-hosting the first Ubisoft Forward with the talented Yusuf Magid. Today's show is all about getting up close and in-depth with all the exciting games we have in production here at Ubisoft.
I'm Yusuf, but there's no time to waste. So let's head straight for the streets of futuristic London and see what the hackers of DedSec are getting into.
O, Watch Dogs Legion, od tego zaczynają. Dobrze, bo to jest jedna z gier, która mnie chyba najbardziej ciekawi.
The illegal paintings spreading subversive and hostile messaging over the last few weeks across London are not the work of several people as was originally believed, but the work of an individual. The criminal suspected to have links with the terrorist group DedSec is marked as potentially dangerous.
Cześć, witamy w takim razie, miło, że dołączyłeś. Mam nadzieję, że to ci umili kwarantannę.
Authorities recommend not to approach the individual.
First, they came for the foreigners, and I did not speak out, because I was not a foreigner. Then, they came for the protesters, and I did not speak out.
Jestem strasznie ciekaw tej gry i tego patentu właśnie z zatrudnieniem NPC-ów, czy z rekrutowaniem. Czy to jednak w pewnym momencie, no nie zacznie się robić takie, że zaczniemy zauważyć, że po prostu ci NPC to są na zasadzie kopiuj w klej, bo jest tam kilka archetypów, więc jak bardzo będą się od siebie różnić wszyscy bohaterowie, których możemy zatrudnić.
And then they came for street artists. But I did not speak out.
Ciekawe, czy poprawili
Because I am not a street
troszeczkę
artist.
fizykę samochodu. Chociaż w dwójce dla mnie nie była zła. Zwłaszcza takie małe samochodziki bardzo mi się podobały, jeżeli chodzi o jeżdżenie. Ale fajnie, że właśnie fajny setting, czyli Londyn w sumie niedalekiej przyszłości. Zwłaszcza, że europejskie miasta no, w grach rzadko się pojawiają, w takich współczesnych, zwłaszcza w takich sandboxach. No ten trailer wygląda fajnie, co prawda no to jest animacja CGI, więc wolę gameplay, ale fajny styl podoba mi się.
Eventually, they'd come for me, and there would be no one left to speak for me.
Przypomina mi trochę stylową Spider-Man. No kurde, już nie mogę wspomnieć jak to. Kurde, jak tego miał ten film? Multiverse? Into the Multiverse? No, ale ten ostatni animowany Spider-Man Sony. Też kiedy mam teraz zaśmienie. Ale bardzo mi przypomina stylową trochę.
After a long night, London is in chaos. The main arteries through the city are blocked. Hundreds of heavily armed Albion...
Well. Welcome to the Resistance. Here's a welcome gift for our new members.
But the disappearance of the criminal...
You could have told me it was a bloody costume party.
Try it on.
The new key suspect has been identified as David Ford, a 43-year-old
Podoba mi
London
się.
taxi driver. He has no criminal record, but is currently believed to be a terrorist. People have been
Mam nadzieję tylko, że
not
pokażą
to
jakiś
approach.
gameplay, a nie tylko ten trailer.
Authorities advise all residents...
I może podadzą datę premiery?
I'm Clint Hawking.
Clint has been a longtime creative force here at Ubisoft, and now he's bringing this vision to Watch Dogs Legion.
So yeah, what we just saw was an amazing short film by the director Alberto Mielgo that was inspired by Watch Dogs Legion and looks at the game and the universe and the characters through his incredible artistic vision and visual style.
The city needs a resistance.
Like the film, Watch Dogs Legion tells the story of ordinary heroes setting aside their differences in order to come together as a collective and to fight for a positive change. You can literally recruit and play anyone who you see in the open world. You profile people that are interesting to you, you help them with their problem, you play their origin mission.
Just help me get some closure and I'll do whatever you want.
Sounds like a DedSec problem. Leave it to us.
And that's how you recruit them into your team. And then they become the heroes of the game and the stars of your story.
Jedyne, czego mi brakuje trochę w tej grze, to możliwości stworzenia własnej postaci, jakby swojego awatara, który zatrudnia te osoby. To by było w sumie dosyć sensowne, a tutaj wygląda na to, że każda z postaci jest NPC-em, że nawet nasza jakby pierwsza, od której
unique to
zaczynamy.
you as the player and personal to you because they're, heroes that you've chosen and invested in. What would I say to fans? I guess I'd say, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Welcome to the Resistance.
Our London town, a modern metropolis, built on history and prosperity. Only took 12,000 years to build it up, and one night to tear it all down.
Oh my God.
Listen up. Get all your units to move in and lock down the city.
With London under attack by a mysterious terrorist, the government turns to a private military company called Albion to keep everyone safe. What could possibly go wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nigel Cass, CEO of Albion. He's kindly stepped up to establish order.
Understand this. I will not allow anyone, not even
Kurczę,
myself,
szczerze mówiąc, wolałbym po prostu taki fragment gameplayu, gdzie pokazują jakieś rzeczy, których jeszcze nie widzieliśmy z tej gry, niż przedstawienie postaci czy frakcji.
London will be the first city in the world.
Ale może chociaż podadzą datę premiery.
Nigel's not the only opportunist who's taken a liking to this fair city. Meet Mary Kelly, head of the most powerful crime syndicate in London.
Be sure and spread the word.
She and her goons are using the dark web to sell everything from party pills to people.
This microchip is scary, I know, but I got to keep tracks on my merchandise, don't I?
You made me a slave.
You do not want to ruffle her feathers. With the city out on its arse, it now falls on you to build a resistance and take back London.
All right, everyone. Faces on, guns out.
Any of the brave Londoners you see walking the streets can be recruited into your team. Like him. Her. Or even her.
Yes,
everyone could become your next secret weapon. In our first mission, we need to get some dirt on Nigel Cass, and that means breaking into Albion headquarters inside the Tower of London. All the hardy souls you see here are people we have recruited from the streets of London. They all have unique abilities, and you're free to tackle this mission with whoever you like.
W Watch Dogs 2 było bardzo rozbudowana kustomizacja postaci, kupowanie ciuszków i tak dalej. Jestem ciekaw, czy to też będzie w tej grze i każdego będzie można dokładnie skustomizować.
But as a construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him handy. He can even call his own cargo drone.
Mi się wydawało, czy tam był taki dodge, jakiś unik. Bo właśnie jestem ciekaw, czy rozbudowali troszeczkę walkę wręcz w porównaniu do dwójki, gdzie w zasadzie po prostu się naciskało jeden klawisz. Trochę jestem rozczarowany, że poszli bardziej w akcję, bo akurat w Watch Dogs 2 bardzo mi się podobało, że można było się wczuć w tego bycie hakerem i robić wszystko z daleka.
Hate spiders, but love this one.
What an adorable creepy crawler.
Here we are. Let's class the place up.
Chociaż z drugiej strony zakładam, że po prostu dają teraz dowolność i można sobie wybierać postacie, które się skupiają bardziej na hakowaniu. Więc to też jest w sumie spoko.
I'm reading incoming drones.
She can also hack enemy drones, turning the tide in her favor. And if you are not into direct confrontation,
no słyszałem, że są problemy z logowaniem na tego Uplaya. Dlatego ja nawet nie próbowałem, zwłaszcza, że mam Watch Dogs 2 na PC, mam na PS4, więc no nie potrzebuję.
But it'll get you inside restricted Albion areas.
Don't mind me, just doing recon for a bunch of insurgents.
However, do anything
ale to jest
suspicious
sprytne
and
ze
she'll
strony Ubisoftu, no
probably
bo nie
wind
dość, że
up with a
robią
bullet in the
hype
back of her head.
na ten event, to jeszcze też w sumie promują Watch Dogs Legion, bo ludzie zagrają w dwójkę i może będą mieli ochotę bardziej na Legion.
If you feel you must.
Oops.
Criminals running our streets, illegals threatening our families, the police commissioner himself, assassinated by terrorists.
Well, that seems to be enough evidence. Next up, we're crashing Mary Kelly's organ farming operation and putting a stop to it.
That's good. The buyers expect high quality stuff.
And we need a hard nut for this.
Impairing our frontal lobe again, are we?
Bags, don't disturb me in my natural habitat.
Say hello to Mickey. The man lives for his team.
Like putting up a hair on my chest.
And doesn't mind getting his hands dirty.
No właśnie, widzę, że jest sporo klas postaci nastawionych na walkę wręcz, więc jestem ciekaw, jak bardzo jest rozbudowane. Czy są jakieś kombosy?
And he's passed out. Ah, well, we'll come back to him. You know what? Let's go with someone a bit more professional.
Siema Zeus. Dawno, long time no see.
It's almost crass to call him a hitman.
A, no to swoją drogą, zgadzam. Spoko, no jestem pewien, że w końcu rozwiążą ten problem z tymi nagrodami, no bo to w sumie dosyć istotna kwestia.
Here's the bastard responsible. Done and dusted.
Not bad if I do say so, innit?
Not everyone in London is a legendary assassin or a super spy, but everyone can be a hero.
Kurczę, to brzmi jak naprawdę dobry pomysł na sandboxa i na zwiększenie różnorodności gameplayu, właśnie te różne klasy postaci. Jeżeli faktycznie to będzie dobrze zróżnicowane, to może być naprawdę fajna gra i wyjątkowa w sumie. O! Oktober 29, fajnie.
Plunging the player into a living, breathing city teeming with unique locales and characters has always been a central pillar of the Watch Dogs series.
So what goes into building those worlds? Here's Amanda Mutt to tell us more.
My name's Amanda Munt. I'm a level artist on Watch Dogs Legion at Ubisoft Toronto. Being a level artist, I think, is the coolest job in video games because we do get the freedom to kind of like pick and choose what little details we want to depict, and we get ample opportunities to tell the stories that we want to tell in the spaces that we're
słusznie,
assigned to.
też właśnie mi się skojarzyło Johnny Wickiem, ten styl walki tego typa, co pokazywali jako
small little
ostatniego.
Easter eggs.
Pewnie się tym
AC
inspirowali.
Unity, there was a boat somewhere in the world that was covered in cats. And then it happened again in Watch Dogs 2, and there may or may not be something in London that is a boat filled with cats in some capacity. So I was fortunate enough to go to E3 last year. Some of the people that I was showing our demo to were from London. So
tak,
no
Zeus, jak na razie tylko Watch Dogs Legion
oh my god, this
pokazywali.
feels like Camden, this feels like Southwark.
Trochę w sumie szkoda, bo to jest jedna z gier, które czekałem najbardziej, więc teraz już mam mniej rzeczy, na które czekam, ale kurczę, muszę sobie kiedyś obczaić tą figurkę Markusa.
I love it.
Bo już parę razy widziałem, była w jakichś sklepach na wyprzedaży za w dosyć przystępnej cenie, bo chyba się nie sprzedała tak dobrze ta kolekcjonerka.
And now some news for Brawlhalla fans. In just a few weeks, you'll be able to battle it out with your favorite legends on iOS and Android devices.
Three, two, one, brawl!
Czyli to taki mobilny smash. O, ale szanuję, że ma możliwość kustomizacji kontrolsów dowolną. W sumie rzadko w mobilnych gierkach coś takiego robią, zwłaszcza tych takich, które mają wirtualne D-pady.
And now, whether you need a Tom Clancy action fix on the go, or want to dive back into one of the most beloved fantasy franchises in gaming, we've got you covered.
A cóż to? Boże, nawet nie wiedziałem, że takie coś wyszło. To jest mobilna gra? Okej, mobilna. Ostro jakoś atakują gry mobilne. W sumie nie kojarzę, że podczas tych eventów E3 tak ostro poszli. A tu już 2 gry mobilne tak. To jest ten ich Battle Royale.
Contact! Moat chain is down. Request air support. Target northeast rooftop.
Roger. Inbound, danger close.
I need an EMP deployed now.
EMP imminent.
Get back in your cell!
Oh yeah, Sam Fisher.
Hey, take this.
Don't make me regret this.
Okej, to kolejna gra mobilna.
Speaking of Tom Clancy, it's been 5 years since Rainbow Six Siege first launched, and the community has never been stronger. In celebration of this milestone, Ubisoft Montreal has put together a special video to thank all of the amazing players and developers that have helped Siege become the game it is today.
Ale Rainbow Six Siege akurat szanuję. Nie jest to gra
In
dla
December
mnie,
2015, a small team released Rainbow Six Siege.
ale fajnie, że cały czas ta gra jakby żyje, poprawiają ją,
A game built on a strong vision,
rozbudowują.
creativity, competitiveness, and team play.
Pour le joueur, le 1er décembre, c'est un début, mais pour nous aussi. Il faut tout de suite s'engager et dire aux joueurs, ce jeu est installé, tu peux t'y installer aussi, et nous serons là.
That original vision was quickly adopted by our passionate community, propelling it to a whole new level.
I got it! This is such a special moment, and being at 1 year anniversary of Rainbow Six now, game being stronger than ever, more players today than we had in the past, it means the world to us.
But we also had our share of challenges.
Health that touches upon subjects like matchmaking, connectivity, all those aspects are absolutely critical to the experience of the player.
W sumie spoko, że mówią też właśnie o problemach,
Through it all, we're
a nie
always driven
tylko
by you, our
o tym, co im
community,
wyszło.
and together we grow stronger.
There is no sequel plan, and we're here for the next 10 years, so expect more Rainbow Six in your life for quite some time.
Look at this.
Tous les succès, c'est vraiment le résultat de autant de nous que de vous. Ce jeu, il est autant le vôtre qu'il est le nôtre, nous, l'équipe de développement.
Now 60 million players
Być
strong,
napisów.
we're just getting started. From the devs that build the game to the community that plays it, thank you.
If you haven't tried it yet, dive into our new Operation Steel Wave update available now and take Ace and Malusi out for a spin.
A few days ago, we introduced y'all to a brand new multiplayer shooter. Now, it's time to venture into the hyperscape.
Ten ich shooter online'owy. Nawet w sumie jakoś się nie interesowałem na tyle, żeby wiedzieć, jakie są opinie o tym, czy to jest fajne, czy nie.
Wait, what was that? A hack in the hyperscape. That's not supposed to be there. Let me get you all up to speed, okay? About 30 years ago, everything that we feared about our future started to come true. We made some good decisions. We made some bad decisions. Actually, we made a lot of bad decisions. So, here we are. 10 billion souls living in the crush of the megacities. But the people at Prisma changed everything. They gave everyone a way out. The hyperscape. In the hyperscape, the biggest draw by far is
się rozgrywa w tym samym świecie co Ready Player One, bo fabularnie bardzo podobne. No, słyszałem, że są problemy z tym playem, sam nie próbowałem, ale no, muszę to w końcu naprawić. Ale w sumie bez sensu zrobili tym, że trzeba oglądać i się zalogować. Pewnie by lepiej wyszło, gdyby po prostu zrobili, że przez jakiś czas po tym evencie będzie można odebrać tę grę i tyle. Chociaż no rozumiem, że zamysł jest taki, że chcą, żeby ludzie obejrzeli.
Users disappearing from the real world. A darker secret lies at the heart of hyperscape. And we have to find it. Some of us are searching for a way up. Some of us for a way out. And for others, a new way altogether. That's what brings us to the edge of the future. To the hyperscape.
Widzę, że próbują troszeczkę tego samego co Blizzard ze swoim Overwatchem, czyli że właśnie dodać do tego jakiś lore, fabułę, która zakładam będzie rozbudowywana w trakcie no, czasu życia tej gry.
What's exciting is we started building it from scratch, seeing it grow, adding ideas is really cool.
Hello, contender. Welcome to the hyperscape.
The game takes place in 2054. It's in a future where humanity has grown a little darker. One of the companies there, they are launching what's called the hyperscape, which is a virtual world and the internet of the future. It's the place where everything converges. Within the virtual world, there is a battle royale that takes place in the virtual city of Neo Arcadia.
Szkoda, że właśnie to jest kolejne Battle Royale, bo pomysł jest ciekawy, jeżeli chodzi o świat. Fajnie jakby po prostu coś więcej z tym zrobili.
It's much more narrow, much more stressful. You get to go to the landmarks where there's more opportunities to get cool items, but also more players, so it's a risk-reward kind of deal. We introduced the notion of hacks, special abilities that you can pick up on the fly to adapt your tactics. With hacks, you can do things like teleport yourself, you can wrap yourself into a ball and bounce around the battlefield. So a lot of abilities that let you have fun, that are toys that you can play with. And finally, it's made as a spectacle, so all the viewers will be able to interact with the game on different levels through the Twitch extension. So every few minutes, there's going to be a vote, and viewers will be able to decide what effect they want to affect the whole battle. So things like changing the gravity, infinite ammo, or stuff like that. So players, while this happens, really have to adapt to all kinds of stuff that is happening. So for me, it's really exciting because right now, as we speak, we're launching the open beta, and so it's going to be available for free-to-play for all PC players worldwide. And I really want to thank all the players, all the streamers, and all the viewers who participated in tech test and who will participate in the open beta. Here's a short glimpse of what you can expect.
Kurczę, gdyby to była jakaś gra PvE, nie wiem, jakiś Horde mode, coś takiego, pewnie byłbym bardziej zainteresowany, ale Battle Royale jakoś kompletnie do mnie nie przemawia. Chyba jedyny Battle Royale, który jakkolwiek miałem chęć zagrać, to Apex Legends. Kurde, ale to w sumie naprawdę zaskakujące, że na Watch Dogs 2 aż tak się ludzie rzucają. Znaczy rozumiem, że to jest też taki motyw, że po prostu no, coś za darmo, to czemu by nie odebrać. Nawet jeżeli nie zamierzamy w to grać. Aczkolwiek ja Watch Dogs 2 polecam jak najbardziej, więc jeżeli wam się uda odebrać, to moim zdaniem warto zagrać. Szkoda, że właśnie no, ta gra się nie sprzedała. Aczkolwiek, jak widać, nie przeszkodziło to Ubisoftowi w tym, by zrobić sequel, więc może, no, nie jest aż tak źle.
The digital world of the Hyperscape gave our artists and developers incredible freedom when it came to designing characters.
Production manager Ana Maria Musca is going to take us behind the scenes of character design.
My name is Ana Maria Musca. I'm the production manager for characters and weapons on Hyperscape. We have paid an exceptional amount of detail to our characters. We switch different outfits, different fashion statements, different tattoos, different materials until we see them as real individuals, as real people. So the second you pick a character, you see them in game, you understand what their motivations are and what drives them and what challenges them. This was the first lineup of characters. This is our default base, but even starting from the hair down, everything has been meticulously thought of. Would this person actually like this type of outfit? Would this person enjoy the type of tattoos that we're putting on them? Will they actually like to be in this body? Each season, we plan to produce new outfits for these characters. So we're hoping some of our players are gonna see the effort and maybe even correlate some of the accessories to what's gonna happen in the game. We're very excited to see it in people's hands.
As we move into the next generation of gaming, Ubisoft has been working closely with console makers to take advantage of all the extraordinary capabilities these new consoles will offer.
Now we have a special guest to tell us a little more.
Co to będzie?
Hey everyone, Phil Spencer
ten, co się
from
wszędzie
Xbox.
wciśnie ostatnio.
With Watch Dogs Legion, Ubisoft is supporting smart delivery. So you will get the absolute best version of the game on any version of Xbox you're playing on. On Series X, you'll get to take advantage of the amazing work the team has done with DirectX ray tracing to create an absolutely immersive version of London like you've never seen before. Ubisoft has a unique ability to create immersive worlds, setting a new bar that continues to drive our industry forward. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed.
Jakby potwierdzili, że
I
będzie
love the
działać
time I've
60
spent
klatkach
exploring the world in
na nowym
Assassin's
Xboxie.
Creed Odyssey. And I can't wait for you to see the gameplay from Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's coming up now.
W końcu, prawdziwy gameplay.
All right. We know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April. And now it's time for a deep dive into the world of Vikings.
Szkoda, że już wiemy, że no jednak to będzie po prostu kalka z Odyssey, ale może ten gameplay to był jakiś wczesny gameplay, ten co wiecie, faktyczna gra wygląda inaczej.
Amazing. The time period of Vikings is really, really inspiring. When we did our research, we found that, you know, they were not mindless barbarians. Vikings were actually farmers trying to find new lands for them to settle. And so they had really human motivations. So for us to have this opportunity to tell kind of the real story about Vikings and kind of separate ourselves from the myths and the folklore is really something that drove us to make this game. The team went to Norway and England take the same roads that the Vikings did, to really experience what it meant to be a Viking at that time. And then leaving Norway, which is barren but majestic,
to się nazywa
and
dobre
just coming
spożytkowanie
by boat
budżetu.
in England and see those rolling green hills full of sheep, full of life, is just this moment that most likely the Vikings felt as well. You need to see this land of opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game. It is a personal adventure, you know, it is the story of Eivor, a Viking chieftain. Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide when you start the game. They will have to leave Norway to settle in England because you just can't live in Norway anymore. There's too much political pressure, no resources available. Obviously, in England, it's full of Anglo-Saxons and other people, and they don't really want you there. So you will have to fight your way there to kind of build your own settlement and see your clan prosper. Vikings were brutal warriors.
Gameplay.
Shields! And the fact that they were mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really inspired us to kind of revamp the fight system, to leverage the brutality and the intensity of Viking combat. Vikings were not only fighting face-to-face, they were masters of stealth and deception when needed. They used basically any sort of tactics they could use to win the battle. So we want to portray the full range of combat that you can imagine coming from the Vikings. We are very happy to finally be able to show you the game we've all been working on. So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you will relive the epic saga of the Viking invasion of England.
O, nie wiem, czy to ten stream, czy
a Viking from Norway, who will
gra ma
lead
taki
his
frame
or her
rate, chociaż
battle-hardened
to jest work in
warriors
progress.
across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal to build a thriving Norse settlement in a hostile land.
For the good of our clan, it is time we go a Viking. Today we raid, that tomorrow we may build.
England is a dark age tangle of broken kingdoms and warring dynasties, a land of opportunity and riches. As you prowl England's rivers by longship, you may raid locations you spot from the shoreline. Ground your ship.
Okej, wygląda jak Assassin, przynajmniej jeżeli chodzi o interfejs.
Your crew will assist you in all your raids, fighting enemies, battering down doors, and stealing cargo too heavy for one set of arms. Whatever riches and resources you pillage may be used to develop your settlement, giving you access to useful services, better tools, and new settlers. At the heart of your settlement is the Alliance map. It will serve as a record of the allies you have made, and a guide for future opportunities.
No tutaj jest coś
The
nowego.
Viking Age was a time of warriors and legends. In Valhalla, you will find
No, ale
the
to już
largest
wygląda
variety of
kompletnie jak
enemies ever
Odyseja
assembled
czy
in an Assassin's
Origins.
Creed game. Every archetype offers a unique challenge. Some will coordinate with their allies for special attacks, while others will use nearby objects to their advantage, including the bodies of
Znając życie,
fallen
no pewnie
warriors.
znowu dam się jakby
To face
przekonać
these
albo
attacks,
nabrać,
you
jak
must
to
find
woli.
and exploit your
I
opponent's
spróbuję
weaknesses to gain
to
the upper
zagrać.
hand. Take the fight to your foes with a host of brutal new combat abilities. Snare them with the Viking harpoon. Pummel them with throwing axes. incapacitate them with the new stun system to keep them at a distance, or finish them off. Dual wield any 2 weapons you wish to unleash a deadly combination of attacks. Customize your fighting style as you
Najbardziej
see
mnie
fit
po prostu
and become a
interesuje...
legendary Viking warrior.
To wygląda już tak trochę... Dzięki. No, najbardziej mnie interesuje po prostu jak mocno trzeba będzie levelować, żeby móc robić po prostu fabułę, bo to mnie odrzuciło w Odyssey, że trzeba było naprawdę dużo sidequestów robić, żeby level wbić na robienie gówni.
Not all situations call for violence. In this new land, a Viking must find a way to adapt.
Okej, to spoko w sumie, że udało się rozwiązać, znaczy, że mają jakieś rozwiązania na ten problem z tymi nagrodami.
Avoiding unwanted attention in towns and bustling cities. Use Eivor's hood and cloak to blend with crowds and slip past watchful eyes, an unseen hunter among the people. From capital cities and villages to the dense forests and rolling hills of England, exploration is vital to keeping yourself sharp. You must feed off the land if you hope to endure. Hunt and forage to replenish your health and fortify your equipment. Search pagan temples and Roman ruins for new activities and challenges to strengthen yourself and your settlement. The more you explore, the more of England's secrets you will reveal.
To mnie przekonuje, że właśnie ta eksploracja będzie taka naturalna, a nie po prostu nie będzie to odhaczanie kolejnych punktów na mapie jak w
In a series of
poprzednim.
climactic moments, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will feature massive assaults in which you will lead Eivor's army into battle against heavily guarded Saxon fortresses.
Today we will reclaim her. Today we fight for your land. And tomorrow we rebuild.
O, ale te animacje to...
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will transport you to wondrous and haunted lands, inspired by Norse myths and England's pagan roots. It will challenge and surprise, with unforgettable characters, thrilling triumphs, and tragic losses, giving you the chance to live your own Viking saga.
No i jak wasze wrażenia? O! Po show będzie większy fragment gameplayu. Fajnie.
Ninth century England is truly unlike anything the franchise has seen before. Assassin's Creed Valhalla will release this holiday season on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia.
Oh boy, na wszystkim.
We're close to wrapping up today, but before we go, our CEO, Yves Guillemot, is here to share a few words.
O, może jednak...
I hope you will have enjoyed what you have seen today, and that you will love playing these games. I'm proud of our teams for delivering an ambitious, broad, and creative lineup of games. And we haven't shown you everything yet. In fact, we have a lot more to come. So you will have another Ubisoft Forward to reveal even more about our upcoming games.
Wow,
but before ending this show, we have one more thing to share with you.
I będą mieli jeszcze jeden show za jakiś czas. No, ciekawe, że to tak rozłożyli na raty. Prince of Persia? A nie, Far Cry. Bo Giancarlo Esposito. Właśnie, już w ogóle zapomniałem, że przecież Far Cry 6 powinien być. Ciekawe, czy pokażą jakikolwiek fragment gameplayu, czy raczej właśnie tylko taki trailer oddający klimat. No, na razie to nie zanosi, by mieli pokazać i rozgrywkę albo no cokolwiek więcej. Pewnie gdyby to nie wyciekło wcześniej, to byłoby o wiele większe zaskoczenie, bo byśmy się przez cały ten trailer zastanawiali, co to jest za gra.
Fuerzas ultrapenetrantes, estamos cansados de los farsantes, de los...
It's beautiful, amigo. Perfect, but useless. I have something for you, Diego.
Ja strasznie lubię tego aktora, więc już chociaż to mnie zachęca, by się zainteresować tą grą.
Papa. Now, the grenade is simple. It has 4 basic parts. The shell, which contains the explosive, the fuse, the handle, and of course, the pin.
What are you doing?
Breathe. The pin simply holds the handle in place. It is only when you let go that this grenade goes boom. Follow me. Now. I am El Presidente.
No, to się nazywa
Which
zimny
means that
chów.
someday you will be El Presidente. And our people, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn
Ogólnie na
apart by
internecie
opinions,
ludzie zauważyli, że
noise,
ten
indecision,
dzieciak ma podobne znamie na brwi jak ten Was z Far Cry'a 3, czyli główny antagonista.
even if you want what's best for them. If you only want to save them
Więc jestem
from
ciekaw, czy to się jakoś w grze potwierdzi, że to jest faktycznie on.
They will hate you, Diego. Everything you say, do, believe.
Chociaż no nie wygląda jak on. No.
They will answer you with screams. Call you evil. A monster. And give you this. So you tell me, are you evil? Are you a monster? Because our country is like this grenade, except it has 2 basic parts. Our people. And you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom. Do you understand now? Bullet.
O nie, musi rzucić granat. Okej, w przyszłym roku.
And with that, we're wrapping up our first Ubisoft Forward.
No
Today,
cóż.
we've seen the next generation of Assassin's Creed, the birth
No
of
i
a
było
resistance in
takie
Watch Dogs
to
Legion,
konkretne, nie rozwlekali tego
the cyber
niepotrzebnie.
chaos of Hyperscape, and the epic reveal of Far Cry's
Pokazali
newest
nawet
installment,
jakby
along with so much
gry,
more.
faktycznie rozgrywkę.
Remember, we'll be
Troszeczkę
back
taką
later
reżyserowaną,
this
ale
year with another Ubisoft Forward
no
filled
nie
with
wiem,
tons of
jak
game news and
te
updates.
liki z
Thanks for joining
Assassina
us.
wcześniejsze troszeczkę mnie odstraszyły, to tak jak już usłyszałem całość o tych wszystkich systemach, które tam są i tak dalej, to troszeczkę jestem bardziej przekonany, aczkolwiek ono się nadal wygląda jak Odyseja.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Ubisoft Forward post-show. My name is Yusuf McGeed, and this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're going to take a deep dive into about 30 minutes of gameplay, and we're joined by a very special guest here.
Hey everyone, this is Philippe Bergeron, otherwise known as Fizz. I am the quest director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So Fizz, we're setting up here for what looks like an epic
Możemy jeszcze chwilę
encounter. Tell us
posłuchać,
exactly
bo
what's
jestem
going
ciekaw,
on
czy
here.
powiedzą coś więcej
So
o tym, jak
here
wygląda
we're midway
struktura
through
gry,
the quest
coś takiego.
that we're showing for UB Forward. Here we're looking at the assault of Berg Castle. So these are big moments that usually sort of culminate at the end of a story. And so here Eivor, our Viking raider, is taking a group of raiders and Fyrds into Berg Castle to go and take down Rued and his clan.
So who exactly is Rued, and why does Eivor sort of want to pick a fight with him?
Basically, Rued comes into play about halfway through this story arc, where at the beginning of the arc, this is something that happens before, Rued basically caused a lot of turmoil within the territory, and Oswald, who's the sort of elderman to be to inherit this territory, needs your help to take him down. Oswald having just been defeated in a previous quest, and so here this is revenge, but also accomplishing your ultimate goal.
So Fizz, as you're talking, we're seeing some of the combat of
Więc jestem
Valhalla.
ciekaw, czy
Can
tutaj
you tell us
coś
a little
zmienili?
bit about the changes to combat this time around?
We wanted to basically add a lot of
Też nadal
new
widzę, że tam
mechanics to
expa
it.
się
So
zostaje,
we
więc jakieś
added like
dewelowanie
some
na
dual
pewno
wielding
jest.
for the player, like a stun system in there, and we really needed to do this to sort of portray that sort of the brutality that comes with being a Viking in this day and age. So it sort of fits into that the time and the character.
Oswald, he lives. Oswald lives!
Eivor, is that you? Shut your ass, twig spine.
Here, Eivor has taken her entire army through the assault, and finally, it's revealed that our Elderman, our ally, Oswald, is still alive, and Rued has him captive.
So this is what it comes to, Wolfkist? Two Danes fighting over a filthy Saxon whoreson? If this swine is your
No, ale
prize,
jestem ciekaw, jak bardzo usprawnią te wszystkie scenki, bo
So now that we've seen that Oswald is alive,
tak
we
naprawdę
have
w
Rued
Odysei
in our
i
sights.
Origins
What's
też
the
no,
next
było
step
dużo
here?
takich scenek,
So the
które no,
next
nie
move for
wyglądały
Eivor is to
rewelacyjnie.
finally face off against
Tutaj
Rued.
jeszcze można
She
wytłumaczyć
has
tym,
her
że to nie
allies,
jest
they can
skończona
take
gra,
care of the rest
ale
of the army. Now it's time to go one-on-one against Rued in one of our boss battles, actually.
Your battle is not yet won, Oswald.
And it's worth pointing out, actually, that here what we're showing is the player going and facing off against Rued aggressively, but we tend to always have to support a 360-degree approach in these things. So the player could have approached this a little bit more stealthily and gotten at least like a good critical hit on either Rued or his wolf, and so you can play this a little bit more strategically if that's your playstyle.
So we're not only fighting Rued here, but also his pet wolf, right?
Here, one of my preferred
Okej, czyli
strategies
mówią,
is
że
to
niby
eliminate the wolf first.
większość
Just
walk
focus
ma
fire on
opcję,
him.
że
It
można
takes at least
podejść
one opponent out of
troszeczkę
the
po cichu,
combat.
ale nadal
Now Rued will have
można zrobić tylko
extra
jakby
abilities that
critical
come into
hita
play if you
zrobić,
do
ale
eliminate
nie
his wolf.
zabić po
But
prostu
I
ostrzem,
think
tak jak w starszych
having one
asasynach.
opponent less in the battlefield makes for a good strategy in the whole.
No właśnie i Odyssey i Origin, no to nowy kierunek w sumie wyznaczyły dla tej serii, gdzie właśnie już jest mniejsze nastawienie na po prostu skrytobójstwo, a bardziej na otwartą walkę. Czyli akurat dla mnie skradanie się w Assassinach jakoś nigdy nie było szczególnie satysfakcjonujące. Więc to mi akurat nie przeszkadza. Nie jestem takim wielkim fanem tej serii, że po prostu jakby te nowsze gry coś dla mnie zepsuły.
You throw in with these wastrels? These arrogant swine?
Eivor, no! He should be tried before God, a lawful assembly.
All right, so we've defeated Rued, we freed Oswald. What comes next?
Oswald, in this case, prefers for Rued to be kept alive, and so you basically have to choose: are you going to go against his wishes or stay
Trudne
true to your nature?
wybory.
So we have this choice to make, but before we get into that, I want to rewind a little bit because we just did this big, grand assault, but Eivor couldn't have done it alone. She clearly had to recruit some folks along the way, get some troops, get some allies. So let's actually rewind and see how we went about first gathering those troops.
Right, so when coming up to an assault, it's a game of numbers. Eivor can go into pretty much any location and be a stealthy Viking, eliminating some of the assets, which ultimately would be a strategy. You can do that, and you'll have some some of the ingredients or of the assets there that will have been sabotaged, but you still need a army. So here what we're seeing is Eivor going around the countryside and raising what we call a fyrd, which is the men and the women of the territory who come up and fight in the name of a king. So here Eivor is going around and trying to convince people
Tutaj jest
to
szansa,
fight
że
in
nawet
the
jeżeli
name
ta
of
gra będzie
Oswald
miała
to
problemy w
finally take
Odysei,
down
to
the
może
oppressor
jakoś
that
to
is Rued.
przełknę.
East Anglia, defending you. Will you not do the same?
What? Die in defense of a lost cause?
Yeah, so she's really using like the image and like the leadership that Oswald had, what he meant to the people in his name. She's going to recruit these people.
Pretty words, Dane.
A wam jak się na razie podoba? To co do tej pory zobaczyliśmy z tej Walhalli? Jaracie się, czy raczej obojętne? A może wręcz no nie podoba wam się, że w sumie
obviously these people have been run down by Rued and the impact he's had on the territory, so I think a lot of these people have sort of lost hope, and so you need to show them that there is hope. And so here Eivor is basically helping them take back one of their prized locations by taking a couple men and raiding a nearby township, basically taking it back for the people and showing that there's a reason to continue fighting and then get them on your side.
O, cześć! Witamy! No tak troszeczkę, już w zasadzie się cały show skończył i teraz pokazują po prostu deep dive z Assassina.
You have some brutal axe throwing in there. You have archery or like range combat abilities in there as well. So really, again, like depending on what your playstyle is, you can customize your loadout and go in there how you wish.
Czy było coś ciekawego? To jest trudne pytanie. Dla mnie ciekawy był Watch Dogs Legion. Bardzo fajnie pokazywali taki film krótkometrażowy, który był w sumie trailerem na gry. Bardzo fajny miał styl. Pokazali trochę gameplayu, w sumie więcej tego, co już wiedzieliśmy o tej grze, ale no nadal wygląda dobrze i ciekawie. No oprócz tego pokazali właśnie Assassina. Też można uznać, że jest ciekawe, no bo wychodzi w tym roku.
So it really is like a good way of sort of understanding
Ogólnie
the
nie
world
było
and
dużo
showing
zapowiedzi.
you like things that
Takie
you
to
can go
dosyć
and
było
touch.
zwięzłe.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things we can touch.
Mówili o tej nowej grze Battle Royale
Something we wanted to play with on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where we have fewer weapons in the game, but you can invest in them more, so they become your weapon. And so depending what your preferred playstyle is or your preferred weapon type, then you can go and choose. I'm gonna fight with this weapon and invest heavily into that.
Not only are we looting weapons, but we see something here called the Book of Knowledge. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
They unlock skills for the players. So here you can see the Valkyrie dive that has just been unlocked. We have these spread out throughout the world. So again, to promote exploration and discovery. As you travel through the world and you explore locations, you can find these books that will add abilities that you can go and invest in, put into your loadout, then go into the different locations with the different quests in the game and use those depending on what your playstyle is.
now we've recaptured this village, we've secured more troops for our assault. Let's jump back now and figure out what we want to do with Rued.
The rightful king of East Anglia has spared your life today, and so it will be.
Compassion is a virtue suited for anyone, Eivor, including you. Thank you.
Śmiesznie, że pokazali pozytywną opcję, nie zabili go. Ale już myślałem, że się okaże, że on się wyrwie i tak go zabiją i wtedy to by źle świadczyło o tej grze i wyborach, bo okazywałoby w sumie, że nieważne co zrobić, to nie jest jeden taki jedna ścieżka, ale faktycznie go
Yeah, you know, when I was playing, I decided to listen to Oswald and spare Rued's life, but what exactly is the relationship like between Eivor and Oswald?
So the relationship between Eivor and Oswald is an alliance. It's basically Eivor is surrounded by territories that initially getting into England are hostile towards her, and obviously if you want to set up a new settlement, you want to make sure that your neighbor is friendly. So here in East Anglia, Oswald is the man for the job, where putting him into a position of power would help her sort of secure her territory. So earlier on to the territory, Eivor comes in here, meets Oswald. The problems he had with Rued are sort of put to light, and going through the arc, you basically help him deal with Rued and aligning basically Danes with Saxons in one territory.
Last of Us
so,
2
Fizz, we've completed the assault, we've gotten our hands dirty with some combat, taken down Rued. We have this big open region of East Anglia, so before we head off to Oswald's wedding, what do you say we head out, have some fun, and see what we can get into in the open world?
That sounds great.
Ciekaw jestem, czy mają właśnie jakieś dane z tych asasynów, jakąś telemetrię, że widzą, że większość ludzi i tak pomija dialogi i tylko odhaczają questy na mapie, levelują, grają lód, a średnio ich interesuje fabuła i może dlatego nie przykładają aż tak dużej wagi do tego elementu i do prezentacji tej fabuły.
More with like politics and warfare, and this shows a slightly more human nature to her, so it permits us to explore that character a little bit more. And so here, basically, like you're trying to help a kid with his cat, and ultimately get that cat to sort of join your crew as a cat raider.
You just said cat raider way too casually. You're telling me I could have a cat Viking raider on my longship?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh my god, yes, I love it. Perfect.
So yeah, as you're riding around the rivers of England, you would see a cat basically walking around your longship, keeping your Viking raiders company.
You know, speaking of the Viking longship, we're seeing some of that gameplay here now. Can you talk a little bit about how that works and functions in Valhalla?
Yeah, so starting out on this project, I think the Viking longship is one of the biggest images that we all have when we think about Vikings in our game. And so Vikings had this awesome design for a longship that had a very shallow hull, so it permitted them to go very far inland very quickly, and you could basically disembark Viking raiders like on pretty much any shore. We added that into the game where you can basically sail up to any location and then just decide to disembark with your guys and raid a location, loot all its treasure, get back in the ship, and then continue sailing down the river to your next opportunity.
No, klimat jest fajny.
So I know past Assassin's Creed games allowed for songs and things like that to be sung on ships. Will Valhalla have a similar version of that?
Yeah, so this is something we actually wanted the crew of your ship to become like your home away from home. So we added stories and songs into the ship. So basically, as the player is going around, you could decide to have your skald sort of sing a song for you as you row down the river. But you can also decide, depending on who the raiders are in your ship, to hear more about their life. So you can actually queue up stories, and they'll give you a little bit more background on who they are. So you get to know your sort of fighters as you're traveling around the world, which is a cool moment.
So here we're seeing a bit of a different view. What exactly are we looking at?
we had this on previous Assassins where you would like ride on your horse and you could pull out, have the horse sort of follow the track. We have a similar thing for the ship where you can put up your sails.
To jest
It's
bardzo
cruise
podobny
control for the ship,
system
so you can pull
do
back, take in the
cinematic
scenery,
camera
listen to
w
some songs or some
Red Dead
stories,
Redemption chyba,
and
gdzie
just
właśnie
take it
też
all
można
in.
było po prostu puścić konia, że sam sobie jedzie do celu i włączyć sobie ładną kamerkę, ładny
So,
widoczek.
speaking of Viking songs, we have an activity here that's not exactly singing, but kind of related, right?
Yeah, so here what we have is what we call flighting, which was an activity that Norse people would partake in. They would like to have a battle of wits and sort of poetry where insults would be thrown back and forth between each other. The idea was to try and have a good insult, but also to have a good rhythm and a good rhyme in there. So it's basically
mam
a
bardzo
precursor
podobne
to
odczucia,
rap
że
battles.
mimo tego, że Odyseja mnie odrzuciła, to
Here's the silver. Now begin.
Valhalla pewnie sprawdzę.
To all those whom I speak, they say Eivor's a clod.
Mam nadzieję, że po prostu się czegoś nauczyli, bo no było trochę backlashu w sumie na to, że Odyseja była taka bardzo wymagająca, jeżeli chodzi o grind i poziomy potrzebne do robienia questów z głównego wątku. I nie wszystkim mi się to podobało, więc może to jakoś zaadresują.
Interesting. Silent whispers all claim that you're terribly dense.
A, dzięki za info, bo właściwie no, testowałem przed streamem, czy dobrze mi słychać, wydawało mi się, że jest ok, ale faktycznie muszę pomyśleć nad taką wtyczką, która wycisza sam background.
What a surprise! Eivor of the Raven clan is a true talent. I'm shocked.
Don't believe everything you hear, unless it touches on my flighting. Then heed every word.
Take the coin.
So now that we've proven
na
our
poprzednich streamach
sharp
znowu były
tongue and
skargi,
wit,
że
I think it's
sam
time for a bit more
stream
relaxing
jest za
activity, so
cicho,
we're
w
fishing
sensie
here.
to, co pokazują, materiał źródłowy,
we gave
więc
Eivor
trochę
a fishing
podgłośniłem.
line, so you can actually throw out a line and go catch
Ciężko
a fish.
wszystkim dogodzić, no.
This is used basically to play into our new health loop where the player will lose health in the world and it doesn't automatically regenerate like we would have in the past. So you actually have to go out and get some supplies. So you'll find mushrooms and some food that you can gather. But here, like you can also catch some fish and consume that to regain some health. We also will sometimes have
nie
it
będzie
in
regenerującego się
quests, so
zdrowia,
it's a good way to
tylko
sort
trzeba
of
zbierać
chill out
zapasy,
on the side
polować
of
na zwierzęta.
the water and just again take it all in. So this is what we call one of our offering altars.
Spoko, dzięki.
So
Właśnie
the
muszę
idea
pomyśleć
is
tak
that
na
you
tą
find these around the
wtyczką.
world and you make offerings to it.
Szczerze mówiąc, przyszło mi to do głowy dzisiaj dopiero jak już była za 5
Here
minut
what
i
you're
się
seeing
zaczynał
though is
stream
sort of
i
like
już nie miałem
a
czasu szukać.
fancy version of it where as you do your offering you get interrupted by some kids that basically come and
Tak, zapis
steal your
streama
stuff.
będzie praktycznie jak
So
tylko
it's
się
just a way for us to
skończy.
sort of showcase that,
Mam
like,
ustawione, że
systems
automatycznie
and
się
activities
wrzuci,
in the world
więc
can sort of
pewnie
play in with
w przeciągu
some
jakichś tam
quests and
20-30
some
minut
events.
się
So it's
powinien
our way
pojawić na
to
kanale.
sort of dress up these moments and make it all fit inside the whole experience.
Yeah, this seemed like a really sort of unexpected turn for what I thought was going to be kind of a simple interaction.
Yeah, and it's really what we were trying to
O,
do with these
wiedźmińskie
events
zmysły.
is to give another dimension to Eivor, other than just, you know, the pure rar Viking or the politician. Because you can imagine at some point that will grow old if you're always telling that version of the character. So it lets us really go into the depth of who is Eivor, what motivates her, how she can interact with the world outside of warfare and politics.
Szkoda, że nie mówię nic o tym, bo wcześniej w
And it
jakichś
also
takich
showcases like a different facet of the world.
plotkach w sumie dotyczących tej części Assassina było, że będzie nastawione na taką bardziej naturalną eksplorację, że nie będzie punktów na mapie, tylko gracz będzie sam znajdywał wszystko, ale tutaj nic o tym nie mówią, więc coś czuję, że może jednak zrezygnowali z tego.
Basically exploit the people that are there to make offerings.
It was kind of nice to see that Eivor wasn't really necessarily upset at them for stealing, and you know, after you talk to them, you have the choice of helping them. You can, you know, give them food, give them some money, or you know, maybe just say, "Hey, good luck, on your way."
Yeah, and then this is something we also wanted to do a lot. Like, so here we're doing an event, we do it in Quest as well, but we want to give a lot of this agency into players' hands so that they can sort of shape Eivor a little bit. Who she is, so it represents them a little bit more, and they can roleplay that a little bit better. And again, it just gives her like a little bit more humanity.
Tak, zdecydowanie będę grał w Ghost of Tsushima, już mam zamówione, czekam na piątek. I prawdopodobnie będę streamował, a na pewno w piątek. I może też w sobotę, tylko że na Twitchu. Link do mojego kanału Twitchowego jest gdzieś tam na kanale YouTube'owym, na profilu. Jest ikonka, można sobie dodać do followów.
So I think AC veterans might recognize this here, but what exactly is Eivor chasing down?
I prawdopodobnie jak skończę grę, to nawet zrobię jakąś recenzję.
Running down one of our tattoo images. So this is challenging the player on free run abilities,
przypomina mi
but
się
also for
łapanie
fans of the series,
piórek.
sort of pulling at their heartstrings for some beloved features.
So are we going to be able to tattoo Eivor?
Yes, by collecting these tattoos, you actually bring them back to your settlement, and then you can customize different body parts, having different tattoos everywhere. So again, another form of expression, and it's sort of to represent that Viking culture.
No, czy Xbox wygra cały rok, to zobaczymy.
One of my favorite things when I was just out there,
Zobaczymy, co pokażą na tym swoim show.
Upon a house or a building and realizing that there was a chest inside, but that there was no easy way in. And in this case, I saw all the doors were barred, but I knew that because there was a chest in there, there must have been some way to get inside. So I went around the back and, found a way in.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually caught on to that.
To show Xboxa chyba będzie 23 lipca, jakoś tak, pod koniec miesiąca. I pewnie z niego też zrobię streama. Lubię oglądać takie rzeczy razem z innymi ludźmi. Nie ma sprawy.
It's not given to you. You still have to work for it a little bit, so it'll challenge you on your observation skills, logic, just trying to find how do I get into this. So we play a lot with level design, quest design to offer challenges to players, and you basically come out of it like with a better feeling for the exploration, but you also get to see more of a story behind these locations which we've crafted. So it gave us a little bit more time to sort of slow down the experience and tell a different version of a story.
W sumie ja też bym chciał zobaczyć nowe Fable od Microsoftu. Najlepiej jeszcze, żeby Peter Molyneux je robił, żeby wrócił do swojej ukochanej marki.
Yeah, so this is one of our bigger events that we have scattered in the world. So as Eivor explores, she can find altars like this and
no mnie strasznie ciekawi, co pokażą te wszystkie studia Microsoftu, bo nakupowali tych studiów i mają naprawdę dużą różnorodność, jeżeli chodzi o gatunki, które te studia robiły i tak dalej. Więc pod tym względem wydaje mi się, że możemy mieć ciekawszy line-up niż Sony, które w sumie robi to, czego się spodziewaliśmy, czyli nowy Horizon, taki spin-off Spidermana i remake Demon's Souls.
And so here the abilities that you see Reagan using are a little bit on the mystical side of things. What's happening is Eivor at the beginning in that trap is poisoned, and so she starts sort of hallucinating, seeing the world in a sort of different light and filter, and so that's sort of what lets us go into this the realm of the weird.
Spirit of my father's rage, fill me!
Spoko. No właśnie, ja sobie robię przerwę od polityki i oglądam gierki. No szkoda, że ten system walki tak jakby, nadal jest tak samo koślawy jak w Odyssey i w Origins, aczkolwiek muszę przyznać, że i tak w porównaniu do poprzednich Assassinów to właśnie te systemy z Odyssey i Origin nawet jakąś tam satysfakcję mi sprawiało, więc no nie będę narzekał bardzo.
So we just saw here that Regan belongs to something called the Daughters of Lyria.
Yeah, that's correct. By finding the other daughters, you'll get a little
No
bit more
nie, po
backstory
co mi to
on who they
mówiłeś?
are,
Nie
so
chcę wiedzieć,
don't want to
nie
spoil
chcę
that too
się
much. But
denerwować.
it creates like a sort of greater story that is not on the main path in any way, but it's still very rich and adds to
Mam
the
jednak
lore of this
nadzieję, że
world and
jeszcze...
actually plays
Dobra, aż
into history.
zerknę na
So we
internecie.
just had a really exciting, really
Nie chcę, żeby
intense
wygrał.
boss battle. I think it's time for something a little bit more relaxing and calming now.
Yeah, it's all about pacing yourself with the highs and the lows. So here we have a low chill moment of what we call building a cairn. So Eivor, as she explores the world,
O,
will
no to
find these sort of
podziwiam
meditative areas
upór,
where
że zrobiłeś tę platynę w Odyssey, bo ja nawet nie byłem w stanie skończyć głównego wątku. Po prostu znudziła mnie ta gra.
And I mean, yeah, the ultimate goal is to try and get the highest pile of rocks, but really it's about taking in the sights, relaxing, taking a step back, and just building something.
Together we stack stones into cairns.
Dla mnie po prostu było tam za dużo takiego... No za dużo takich rzeczy, które rozdrabniały całą grę, właśnie takie konieczność robienia questów pobocznych, których większość no nie była ciekawa. No, jest krótki, ale ja nie byłem w stanie skończyć właśnie tej gry, bo po prostu problem polegał na tym, że gra wymagała, zakładała, że większość graczy po prostu będzie eksplorować co się da i robić wszystkie sidequesty po drodze i w ten sposób były wyznaczone te progi, jeżeli chodzi o wymagany poziom do zrobienia danego questa fabularnego. A ja jestem graczem, który raczej idzie głównie linią fabularną i robi trochę bocznych rzeczy, więc często po prostu wpadałem na ścianę, że nie mogłem robić dalej fabuły, miałem za niski poziom. I to mi się bardzo nie podobało i po prostu porzuciłem grę.
Creating turmoil in the territory and helping Oswald sort of get above that and show that he's a good leader. And so you finally, after going through all of that arc, finally get these two together, go through their wedding, and you're invited to attend the ceremony. And then all the activities and fun times that comes afterwards.
Yeah, as much as we've seen the
No,
brutal
to nie
side
wiem,
of England,
ja
it's
naprawdę
nice to see,
parę razy
the joyous side of it as well.
się zwiesiłem, więc
Yeah, and it's something we really wanted to play on.
może coś zmienili potem w patchach, ale no po prostu miałem tak, że robię sobie swoją fabułę i nagle wymaga ode mnie wbicia 4 poziomów doświadczenia.
And so here this is one of our opportunities to sort of show what a sort of Viking gathering is. And what's cool
I
here is
muszę wtedy robić
it's a good
sidequesty,
alliance
które mnie nie
Norse
interesują.
culture with Saxon culture, sort of smashing those two things together and building bridges.
Yeah, I mean, what's a wedding without some drunk archery, right?
Yeah, so like, anything can happen in a Viking event,
No
right?
wygląda na to, że
Eivor, yeah,
może
here,
być
here,
naprawdę
just get drunk, shoot some arrows.
pod względem klimatu ta gra może po prostu pokonać wszystkie przeciw, które mam do tych nowych asasinów.
So here we see the decision I made to spare Ruid came back to bite us.
Yep, that's the decision you made coming back. So as we said before, all of your decisions have consequences, and this is a big one.
Ale szanuję, że w sumie naprawdę sporo gameplayu pokazują.
You're basically presented with the option to sort of step in for Oswald, fight the fight for him, or let him go and fight his own fight.
Yeah, you know, personally, I chose to fight myself because I thought Eivor is the type of person who likes to finish what she started.
Plank by plank, and a dead king cannot keep his oaths. Let me finish this.
Oswald, you gutless Irish swine!
No, jest blisko, jeżeli chodzi o wynik wyborów, więc jeszcze w sumie nic nie wiadomo tak naprawdę do ostatecznych wyników. Nie ma się co na zapas stresować.
So at this point, you've eliminated his wolf, so it's just him, and so he's angry at this point, and so he will start using his big gun abilities like fairly earlier on in the fight. So it's way more vicious,
ale mimo
way
wszystko, że te walki są takie trochę koślawe, zwłaszcza te z bossami, to jednak i tak wyglądają ciekawiej pod względem ataków, które mają wrogowie, ci bossowie jak gdyby, że już może być ciekawiej niż w Odyssey.
And of course here, like, this is a decision you made to go and fight him, but there's multiple outcomes to this scenario. You could have let Oswald fight his own fight and prove basically his station as the rightful leader. If you had eliminated Rued, obviously this would not have happened. It would have been a slightly more joyous occasion.
Spoko, w sumie odpowiadają na moje pytanie, jak się zmienia fabuła w zależności od naszych decyzji.
He's proven to be the right leader for this territory.
A właśnie, gdzie pytaliście, jaka ta gra, to jest Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I promised you an alliance, and now you have it.
And one day I will need you to make good on that alliance.
So we're about to take off from the wedding, but Eivor decides it's a good idea to check up on her friend Finner.
Yeah, so Finner is probably one of the more recurring characters in this arc. You get to meet him very early on. He's a very endearing character, sort of used to have a Viking life, sort of misses it, and going through all these adventures together is sort of like lights that fire back, and so he's willing to join you in your raiders. So he's one of many raiders that you'll encounter in the game, and you can sort of recruit, bring back home, and then have them sort of join you on your adventures on the longship. He can tell you these stories that we're telling you about. You get to know a little bit more about him. So again, it's a fun way to sort of discover more about these characters that you meet and bring them along for adventures.
Together.
I'll gather my things.
Well, folks, we've come to the end of our Assassin's Creed Valhalla playthrough. Fizz, thank you so much for joining us. When and where can people play it?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be out on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, and is coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia on November 17th.
Okej. Hyperscape, nie Hyperspace. Wiedziałem, że coś pokręciłem tym tytułem. To już mnie tak średnio interesuje, więc to jest dobry moment, żeby skończyć streama. Jak zwykle dziękuję wszystkim, którzy wpadli. I do zobaczenia pewnie na streamie Microsoftu. A jeżeli chcecie zobaczyć, jak streamuję giereczki, to zapraszam na Twitcha. I link jest na moim YouTubie. Tam na głównej stronie, jak jest ten banner, to jest tam ikonka Twitcha. No, także trzymajcie się i na razie.